is the Savage Nation. The time is 34 minutes after the hour. As promised, I have a very interesting guest for you. It's rare that a Democrat will come on this show. Attorney General Jerry Brown wants to be governor. He's agreed to come on the Savage Nation. Jerry, welcome to the Savage Nation. Thanks for being with us.
Well, good. I haven't said I've wanted to be governor. I said I'm thinking about it, and I'm.
Oh, I thought it was a given.
Doing my job as Attorney General. In fact, that is my number one priority.
You know, Governor, I was in a restaurant in North Beach the other night, and lo and behold, who walks in but your would-be competitor, Gavin Newsom. And, he's been in favor of homosexual marriage from the beginning. But I got to tell you, I gave money to your campaign last time because I went to your speech up at one of the buildings and you had funded a military academy in Oakland. And I said, all right, you're a liberal Democrat, but you've moved to the center and you're a realist. I don't understand one thing. With regard to Proposition 8, how can you, as the highest law enforcement official in the state of California, work to nullify the will of millions of voters? It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, let me explain it. I defended the existing and traditional marriage laws of California last May in a very long and I thought eloquently written brief and oral advocacy. The court, by a 4-3 decision, rejected the arguments that we put forward for maintaining the existing statute on traditional marriage. They said that, first, marriage is a fundamental right, and secondly, there's no compelling reason why same-sex couples should not enjoy that right as well.
But Jerry, the people spoke. We went to the ballot. We did it peacefully. Nobody got violent. We were told we live in a democracy, and we voted. We voted on Prop 8, and it won by it won by a larger majority than Obama won by. And how could the people now vote for you if you run for governor when you say to them your vote is, of no meaning to me?
Okay, well, no, the vote is of meaning. But remember, the Supreme Court also in May, in the decision when they struck down the marriage statutes of California, they overruled Proposition 22, which passed in 2000 by 61% of the vote. And that statute was identical to Proposition 8. The only thing different between 8 and 22 was that 8 passed by 52.5%.
But Jerry, I understand, but you're citing a few judges, not a few million voters.
No, wait a minute. The court is the guardian of the fundamental liberties.
No, they aren't. Not this court. Look, you can say that, but the people don't see it that way, Jerry. Governor Brown, let me say this. The court seems like a group of elitists who are out for special interests, not to represent the people. The fact of the matter is, millions of people took the time out to say no to homosexual marriage.
Well, in 1964, 65% of the people said no to the fair housing law that had been passed the year before.
Well, I've heard that before, but it doesn't hold water, Jerry, because 7 out of 10 black people voted against gay marriage.
Well, no, whatever ethnic group voted, the fact
it was higher than that. I'm sorry. It was 9 out of 10 Chinese people voted against gay marriage. I know the numbers. 90% of Chinese voted against gay marriage. 70% of blacks voted against gay marriage. It has nothing to do with civil rights to them. So I'm a white guy, but here you have ethnic people who don't want it either.
Wait a minute. First of all, as far as numbers, Obama won California by a lot more than Proposition 8. Not even close. But
I'm talking about nationally. Nationally. California's not nationally.
I think Obama...
Wait. But, Jerry, you just made my point. Even in liberal California, the overwhelming majority of people voted against homosexual marriage. What I'm saying is I don't understand from a point of view of a pragmatic man like yourself, an intelligent, pragmatic man, that if you should choose to run for the governorship, how could you appeal to the people after telling the people you're siding with, the homosexual lobby and with the Supreme Court, who is absolutely at odds with the people?
It had all the arguments last May, and they ruled that this was a fundamental right that included same-sex couples as well as traditional marriage. They said it, and we were arguing against that. They overruled it, and I believe that precedent is the binding law of California, and that they will probably follow it. And I want to point out...
Well, as a great English essayist said, the law is an ass. The people are always right, not the law. The fact of the matter is, why then do you have ballot initiatives if you're going to nullify them?
Well, they have been nullified many times in the past, and as a matter of fact, since the founding of this country, we've had judicial review, starting with Justice Marshall. He struck down congressional statutes and state laws. And
That's right. That's right. We've had elitist judges in black robes acting like black armbands. How in the world can you expect people to come out and have faith in a system when the system says you can vote if the results are what we want, but if the results are not what we want, we're going to nullify your vote? What kind of democracy is that?
Well, what kind of a fundamental Bill of Rights is something you can take away with a couple of 52% to 48?
No, you got that wrong. No one's taking away a right that was never granted. To most sane people, the idea of two men marrying is insane. To most traditionalists, the idea of a man and a woman getting married is the bedrock of Western civilization. In fact, there's not a religion on earth that doesn't see it this way. There's not one religion on earth that doesn't see it this way. And leads me to the next thing, Jerry. Doesn't Proposition 8 and your belief, your position on it, conflict with your religious training?
The court is the guardian of minority rights. And originally, it was property owners who were the minority, and they wanted to protect themselves from the masses.
But you keep making a fallacious argument. We keep hearing about civil rights, and I keep telling you that 7 out of 10 blacks in this recent election said no to homosexual marriage. 9 out of 10 Chinese said no to homosexual marriage. How does that jibe with civil rights if the people who you are referring to and referencing themselves say no to this?
Okay, this is not about politics. This is about the structure of the court, the fundamental rights, the right of the people. The people can amend, but when you try to encroach on what is a fundamental liberty, now you don't think it's a fundamental liberty. 3 people out of 7 on the Supreme Court of California didn't think it was a fundamental liberty, but the majority, by the way, the chief who wrote this far-reaching opinion was appointed by Pete Wilson, a Republican conservative.
Yeah, to his eternal shame. To me, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is an out-of-control man who frankly should be impeached. But that's one man's opinion. I still don't understand one thing. We can disagree on this, which we're going to disagree. I'm not going to change your view. You're not going to change mine. But here you are, Attorney General, the chief law enforcement official. You're a good person. You're a good man. I've met you. We've talked. And yet you're saying that the people's vote doesn't matter, and you're citing the judges. This goes to the whole argument of elitism, which the people despise elitism.
Well, there are constraints on the people. You can't establish slavery. You can't deprive people of a fundamental right. Now, the debate here is you and 52% of the people didn't see it as a right. Well, 48% of the people do see it as a right, and 4 of the judges out of 7. You may not like that division, but we do have a relationship.
You see, you're using the judges to uphold a position that the majority of the people don't agree with. Who made these judges God Almighty?
Wait a minute. You could put search and seizure up to a vote, and maybe people will take away the 4th Amendment or the 5th Amendment, the rule against not having to.
But now you're saying that we should entrust our powers to the judges, when the judges have caused so much harm and discord in this country.